Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Nitai Gora Pramanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye Nasta Prayesu Habadresu Nityam Bhagavatam Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistikhem. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is very meant of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Nara Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author, by regular attendance in classes on Srimad Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service unto the pure devotees of the Lord. All that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead with praise, with transcendental song is awakened as an irrevocable fact. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 9, Text 48, Chapter entitled Dhruva Maharaj Returns Om. Uttamascha Dhruvascho Bhao, Uttamascha Dhruvascho Bhao, Anyonyam Prema Vivalao, Anyonyam Prema Vivalao, Anga Sangad Pulakau, Anga Sangad Pulakau, Asragham Muhur Uhatu, Asragham Muhur Uhatu, Uttamascha Dhruvascho Bhao, Anyonyam Prema Vivalao, Anga Sangad Utpulakau, asraugham muhurutnato uttamascha dhruvaschapto bhao anyonyam prema vivalau anga sangar utpulakau asraugham muhur uhato. Uttamacha, also Uttama. Dhruvacha, Dhruva also. Ubhav, both. Anyonyam, one another. Prema vivalau, being overwhelmed with affection. Angasanga, by embracing. Utpulakau, their heads stood up. Astra, of tears. Ogham, torrents. Muhu, again and again. Uhatu, they exchanged. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: the two brothers Uttama and Dhruva Maharaj also exchanged their tears. They were overwhelmed by the ecstasy of love and affection, and when they embraced one another, the hair on their bodies stood up. Now I'm going to another two more verses till we get to the purport by Srila Prabhupada. Text 49. Suniti rasya janani pranebhyopi priyam sulam upaghuya jahau adhim tad anga sparsa nivrita. Suniti, the real mother of Dhruva Maharaj, embraced the tender body of her son, who was dearer to her than her own life, and thus forgot all material grief, for she was very pleased. Text 50. Payastanabhyam susrava netrajai salile shibhe tadha bishyan manabhyam vira vira suvo muho. My dear Vidura, Suniti was the mother of the great hero. Her tears, together with the milk flowing from her breast, wet the whole body of Dhruva Maharaj. This was a great auspicious sign. Purport: when deities are installed, they are washed with milk, yogurt and water, and this ceremony is called Abhishekha. In this verse it has been especially mentioned that the tears which flowed down from the eyes of Suniti were all auspicious. This auspiciousness of the Abhisheka ceremony performed by his beloved mother was an indication that in the very near future, Dhruva Maharaj would be installed on the throne of his father. The history of Dhruva Maharaj leaving home was that his father refused to give him a place on his lap. And Dhruva Maharaj determined that unless he got the throne of his father, he would not come back. Now this Abhisheka ceremony performed by his beloved mother was an indication that he would occupy the throne of Maharaj Uttanapada. It is also significant in this verse that Suniti, the mother of Dhruva Maharaj, is described as Veerasu, a mother who produced a great hero. There are many heroes in the world, but there is no comparison to Dhruva Maharaj, who was not only a heroic emperor of this planet, but also a great devotee. A devotee is also a great hero because he conquers the influence of Maya. And Lord Chaitanya inquired from Ramananda Roy about the most famous man in the world. The latter replied that anyone who is known as a great devotee of the Lord is to be accepted as the most famous. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnanananjano Salakaya Chaksurhanmalitameno Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Aham Sri Gurun Sri Yuttapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sangrajatam Sahagano Raghunatan Vidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabando Jagatpate Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhano Sude Devi Pranamame Aripriye Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evecha Patithanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadharo Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Payastana Bhayam Susrava Netra Jai Sile Sive Tada Bhishyamanabhyam Vira Vira Suvamuhu. My dear Vidura, Suniti was the mother of the great hero. Her tears, together with the milk flowing from her breast, wet the whole body of Dhruva Maharaj. This great auspicious sign. So we are continuing here in the subject matter of Dhruva Maharaj been shown a great respect and affection by different parties around. That is simply because he has developed the love for Krishna, and due to that development love for Krishna, automatically everybody else wanted to love this boy. In the chapter 5, text 7, Krishna explained, Yoga Yukta Visuddhatma Jiva Bhutmanu Sada Sadha. Yoga Yukta Visuddhatma, that when a person becomes very loving in Krishna consciousness, automatically he begins to love everybody else in the world, and in return people will begin to love the devotees of the Lord. Jiva Bhutatma. yoga yukta visitatma vichitendriya. Okay. So in this way, very important that Krishna conscious movement is trying to love Krishna and trying to spread the love of Krishna to the whole entire world, so that people can come together in the basis of loving affection among each other. As long as there is so much of animosity in the heart of the living being, there is no going to be any kinds of peace and happiness in the world. Prabhupada beautifully says a small story. He said there were two young lovers, young boy and young girl from a village in India. They were in love and they wanted to get married, but the parents were not agreeing to it, and they've decided to run away from the village, and they've appointed a boatman who can take them across from the river of the village, and it was appointed to be at 12 o'clock midnight. So the boatman came, and the boy and girl, they sat in the boat. And the boatman started to row the boat, and he was rowing and rowing. The next day morning, when the sunlight rised, they saw the boat didn't even move an inch away from the original place. Then they find out that he did not release the anchor of the boat. Prabhupada says, as long as a person is, indulging in kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, as long as they are too much involved in these, 6 enemies of the living being, and even they may be apparently, externally, they may be involved in some sort of religious organization, some sort of religious activities, but actually they won't be making any kinds of progress, as Krishna says in the chapter 9.3, Astra dadana purusa dharmasya parantapa apravyamam nivartante mrityu samsara varitmani. If a person don't have faith in Krishna consciousness, if he does not follow properly the injunction of the Shastras, then he has to come back again to this material world. Doesn't matter whether you are 30 years devotee, doesn't matter you are sannyasi or whatever, but importantly that you must develop the love for Krishna in your heart. Krishna, the love binds everyone. Prabhupada mentioned that he came to America without a single penny, but somewhere or other in the beginning he was personally making chapatis, he was personally making some prasadam and feeding all these boys and girls who were coming to him. And he says, later on, then these boys and girls who have come, they saw that I'm giving them love, and they also later they began to cook chapati and everything they offered to me. He said there was no force from my side, there was no force from their side. He said I didn't even add the money to bribe them. But they voluntarily, they did, even though it was very difficult, but yet out of love, due to that loving exchange interaction, this has happened. So our organization can flourish very nicely in a very big way, very beautifully. If a devotee understands the basic principle of Krishna consciousness is all about love, nothing else. Sannyasam karmana Krishna punaryoga cha samsasi yachrayan itayor ekam tanme bruyischu nishchitam. Sannyasam karma yoga sha nishreyat karau yube tayosa karma sannyasa karma yoga vishishyate. The chapter 5, text 1, Arjuna inquired from Krishna whether to leave everything, be renounced, or to do everything with devotion. Krishna said both of these things, taking renunciation and doing everything with devotion, both are leading to the path of liberation. Gyayasa nitya sannyasi yonadvastina kansati nirdvandvahi mahabhavam sukham bandham brahmachyate. Between these two, just renouncing everything, but working everything with devotion. Krishna says work with devotion is much more better than just renouncing everything. Sannyāsastu mahabhavo dukkhamāptum ayogata yoga yukta munir brahma nachirena gacchati. In the chapter 5, text 6, Krishna told Arjuna that simply renouncing everything, will make one to become more miserable in his life if there is no devotion in his heart. The final point of Krishna consciousness is that whatever you do in your life, you only can attract Krishna through love and nothing else. Bhagavad Bhakti Rinasya Jati Sasra Japasapa Hapranapnasya Yadeyasya Mandanam Lokaranjanam. And the Shastra says that without devotion, whatever you are chanting, all your mantra, whatever bell you are ringing, whatever you are reading, whatever you are singing, he said, without the bhakti, everything is useless. Just like decorating a dead body. So in this way, the ultimate point in our Krishna consciousness is that we can flourish very nicely in devotion, we can be very nicely, happily situated in Krishna consciousness if we can do everything, with love, nothing else. Not for anything else, for name and fame and other thing. Understanding that nothing is going to be followed with you at the time of death. Kevayam nama rupavayam yadubi saha pandava bhavato yarhi rishike. Kundi Devi says, my dear Lord, as long as you are with us, we enjoy, our kingdom flourish because of you being with us. The moment you leave us and go, everything will become null and void. Twayi me nanya visaya mati palupati sakri ratim udvahadat ada gange baugham udanvati. My dear Lord, before you leaving us for good, kindly cut off all my attachment to my kinsman. Let me flow, my devotion flow unto your lotus feet, just like the river, ocean, Indrans. In the similar way, let me to your lotus feet. So at every moment we have to understand, when you become a devotee, there are glories, name and fame. Because you are doing a devotional service and you are also performing a lot of tapasya, austerity, which is generally very difficult for the karmi to do any of these things. And giving up meat eating, it's not very easy. Giving up alcohol is not very easy. And giving up human is not easy. Intoxication to anything, which is the very dearest activities for the people out there. Not very easy. And Prabhupada was in America talking, in the morning walk. And Prabhupada, one devotee came and asked Prabhupada, can you, initiate me? Prabhupada said, very easy, I can do that, provided you follow the 4 principles. And he said, what is that? He said, first you must give up meat eating. He said, no problem, Swamiji, I can do that. And second is that no intoxication. He said, no problem, I can give up. Third, no gambling. He said, no problem, I can give up. 4, no illicit sex. He said, Swamiji, this is our life and soul in America, how to give up? It's a very difficult visaya vinivartante niraharasya dehi rasovaram param drisva nivartate. In the chapter 2, text 59, Krishna says, easy you can give up. A person who gets the higher taste automatically gives up this lower taste. Once you get the higher taste, automatically you will give up the lower taste. That is the principle. Your Narasimhadev becoming very fired up. He is very pleased with Prahlad Maharaj. Narasimhadev asked Prahlad Maharaj, what benediction do you want? He said, my dear Lord, I have not come to you to do business. No, I would like to give you something. Please ask. And Prahlad says, see? Prahlad Maharaj says, Yadi dasya se me kaman varam tvam varadar sabha kamanam ready asamroham bhavatas vrine varam. My dear Lord, I do not require anything from you. I'm already totally satisfied being at your lotus feet. But if you wanted to give me something, I humbly praying that you may take away all the material desires from the core of my heart. That is only benediction I'm asking for. And Narasimhadev says, no, you ask more, little bit more for yourself. Prahlad Maharaj says, Prayena deva munaya somukti kama maunam charanti vijanena parartanista naitan vihaya kripanan vimamukya. He said, my dear Lord, I'm only praying that I can be staying in the city and preaching to the people. He said, there are so many so-called yogi and advanced devotees. They are frightened of living in the city, thinking that big Maya is in the city. They cannot sustain in the spiritual life, in the city life. So many yogis and advanced devotees, they already gone to the forest. In the name of meditation, they are sitting by themselves in the forest. But I would like to stay in the city and, preach your glories. Because without coming to your lotus feet, no living being are going to be happy in their life. To bring the living being to your lotus feet, I would like to stay here and preach. And Narasimhadev says, at least you ask one thing for yourself. He said, my dear Lord, I have no any desires here. But if you wanted to do a favor to me, please kindly help my father. Tri Saptabi, Pitabi, Pitrabi, so nahi. Narasimhadev says, don't worry about your father. If a person become a devotee from one family, one person become a devotee in a family, become a good devotee, it is 3 Saptabi, 21 generation of their family will be delivered, 7 from the past, 7 the existing, 7 in the future. That is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. So Prahlad knows this thing. When Prahlad Maharaj, when the first time when the Sanda and Amarka brought Prahlad Maharaj, his father asked him, what is the best knowledge you have learned from Gurukul, from your teachers? And Prahlad said, Tat sadhumanne suravarya dehinam sada samvigyadiram asadgriya yadvada papam kriyam andakopam vanam gato yadharim asrayetya. My dear father, Prabhupada writes beautifully, never even called his father my dear father. He said, my dear Asura demon. We shouldn't say that, You are born in a family, your parents are they are very blessed to have a child, as a devotee. What punya, what merit they have done in the previous life to have someone as a son. Even though life is very difficult. When I joined the organization, my mother was not very happy, crying, oh, my son has gone, And my father was not very happy either. And in the time, passing of the time, my mother became a devotee. She took initiation. My brother became a devotee. And my father, whenever he talks to me, he said, my dear son, when are you going to get married? It's the only thing my father will say, when are you going to get married? And, I thought he was not serious. And one day after 15 years or so, I went to visit my parents, and my father said, you better sit down. I've got to talk to you. I said, what is that? Look, all your friends in Hare Krishna movement, they joined together. All of them, they're married, they got children, they're chanting Hare Krishna. What is the problem with you? When I was in Australia, when I was 23 years old, I was distributing books in the street in Australia. One of the young girls, she came and then she took the book and then she said, She said, where are you from? I said, from Malaysia. Oh, how many kids you have got? I said, I'm not married. And then, you see, normally in our culture, normally we ask them, are you married? Then we ask whether you got any kids. But then she asked me, how many kids you have got? I say, I'm not married. And then she said, so what is the problem? You don't need to get married to have a kids, she told me like that. And she said, no, so you don't have a girlfriend? I said, no. And you don't know anything about women? Yes. And she said, there must be something wrong with you. You should go and see a doctor. So my father let me stay, and then he said, no, son, you should get married. I don't care. You become a devotee or whatever is your problem, you get married. Every time my father insists, that was the last day, my father said, now I want the answer. You're going to marry or not. I said, let me go and speak to my mother. My mother is already a devotee. I told my mother, father says I should get married. My mother said, don't listen to your father. I made a great mistake marrying your father. And I asked my mother, were you happy marrying father? She said, no woman in the world can be happy with your father. She said, you're already happy in Hare Krishna movement. Just follow Prabhupada only. Don't worry about other things. So I went back to my father, and my father asked me, so did you speak to your mother? I said, yes. What your mother said? Mother said, don't listen to you. Why? She said she was not happy with you. And my father got angry. My father said, you think what? You think what? I'm happy with your mother? Nobody can be happy with your mother. I regret marrying your mother. So I told my father, you are not happy marrying, my mother not happy marrying, so why you are pushing me into the thing? Prabhupada said, this is the way of life. He says, you go around and look around, any married man, 24 hours, 365 days, they're happy in their life. You come and show me, I become a sannyasi. So in this way, Prahlad says that sadhumanne suravarya dehinam sada samigya dhiram asadgriya. My dear father, whoever have taken this temporary material body and whoever got involved into temporary marriage life is like a dark well. There is no water there, only suffering. How are they going to be happy in their life? And he says, Vanam gato yadharim. There is one forest in Vrindavan. You go to Vrindavan and surrender at the lotus feet of Krishna, you'll become happy. And Narasimha got to know Hiranyakashipu became very angry. He told Sanda in America, there is something wrong with this boy, you have to take him back and re-educate again. And Prahlad is not interested in that so-called economic development, sense gratification sort of education. He knows ultimately all those things are useless, never going to be helping you at the time of death. Is there anybody in the world they're very happy because they got all the money? Even a beggar is unhappy. Even the fellows who have a billionaire is also very unhappy. Everybody got their own things are happening in your life. Everybody is unhappy. Isn't it? Mamupitya punarjanma dukalayam asasvatam. The whole material world is a miserable place. How are you going to be happy? Whether you are drinking the water, ocean water from Germany, or the ocean water from India, or the ocean water in Switzerland, the water is going to be the same taste in any place that you're going to drink. Prabhupada says, just like you take a cup of water, you have given a water in this cup, the water is changed, transferred into the pepper cup. And now you drink the water in the pepper cup. Is that means, because of the changes of cup, the water, the taste is going to be changing? Nothing is going to be changing here. The whole creation of this material world, to give a valid education to the living entities, to understand that living away from Krishna and living in the material world is full of trouble and difficulties. I must return to the spiritual world. So in this way, Prabhupada was telling about, the dry cow dung and wet cow dung, They were burning the dry cow dung. Then the wet cow dung was laughing at the burning of the dry cow dung. He said, oh, you're being burned. Oh, you're being burned. And the dry cow dung, it says that, it says one day you will become dry and you also will be burnt. Ultimately, in the material world, Prabhupada said there is no profit. In between, for temporarily, we may make some profit of so-called education, so-called family life and children and relatives and so on. Ultimately, everything will be taken away from you. Where is the love in the material world? One of the Halwar, before he became a devotee, he was walking through a village and he saw in a family, that somebody died, the man died, man of the family died. And he was a very nice man, and everybody sitting around him and hugging the body and crying and crying and crying, even and sad. You look at them, everybody crying like they are going to die already. So he looked at the God, he says, my dear God, you are very, very, not very good. You look at this man is a very good man, everybody loves him so much, why you have taken him and gone? The way they are crying, the way the children are crying, the way the wife is crying, the Halwar, he got frightened. Maybe one of them may die because so much of love for this guy. And everybody hugging and crying, Then the priest who were conducting the final rites, and he has to continue the rites, he has to take the body, he has to bathe the body, he has to do other rites. And he was telling them, please, give away, please move away from the body. I have to carry on my, the rights for this body, so please, move away from the body. But the wife, the children, nobody is moving away from the body. Hugging and crying and crying. Then the priest, he became very angry. He said, stop doing this. He said, move away from here. This man is died ready, has gone ready, is not going to come back here. But if you all wanted to go with him, I will send you there. Otherwise, move away. The moment he said, if you wanted to go with him, otherwise move away, everybody moved away from the body. That is the time the Halwar was enlightened. Kondatam kole punevam tamar vitrar vilanidiyam manduhang punararam mane volindu uyirmaindu kandu aatrin ulagiyirkai kadal vanna adiyene pande pol karudadu un tiruvadikki koyakol. He says that, my dear Lord, I've thought that all these people are really in love of that man. And the way they were crying, I thought some of them may die because of the love, attachment to that man. But today you have shown me the naked beauty of the material world. There is a naked beauty of the material world. What people are looking, in the daily life, what people are smiling at you, what people are talking at you, the way everybody interact is not the true, interaction. Behind that there is the naked, beauty of a person relies in them. We talk to somebody nicely because we don't want to disappoint them. Even we don't want to say, you're ugly, go away from here. Isn't it? People walking in the Western world, European world, you walk in the street, they don't even look at your face, but then sometimes they say, good morning. They don't even wait to get your answer whether you're okay or not this morning. And they just say and go and go and go. Nobody interested in your welfare. Somewhere or other, everybody pretending though they are interested in welfare. Especially the politician, they're not at all interested into the welfare of the citizen. They are just warm up their seat to see what will be gaining for them in the material position. There was a man, he died. Yamaraj took him and then he told the man that, look, you have done good and bad. For the good things I have to take you to heaven. For the bad things I have to take to hell. So where you wanted to go first? He said, I don't know about heaven, I don't know about the hell, so please let me see both these places and I'll tell you which place I wanted to go first. So Yamaraj took him and showed him the hellish planet. And normally hellish planet is everything very hellish, and it's like a desert, nothing happens, only people go through different kinds of punishment. So when the Yamaraj took him and showed him the hellish planet, but in the hellish planet, everywhere there are beautiful stages were there. There's a big stage everywhere. People are dancing, people are talking, there are flags, countries' flags are flying everywhere. And there were free food being given, free drinks are going on, and big entertainment was going on in the hellish planet. Then he says, no, now let me go and see the heavenly planet, then let me decide which one I wanted to go first. The Yamaraj took him to the heavenly planet. The heavenly planet was very peaceful, and everybody, seated very peacefully. Nothing much is happening in the heavenly planet. All the things were happening in the hellish planet. So Yamaraj asked him, so now you have seen the hell and you have seen the heaven, where you want to go? Where you want to go first, Then he says, I think the hellish planet, because everything is happening in the hellish planet. So take me to hellish planet. So Yamaraj took him to hellish planet back, and when this time he came back to the hellish planet is like a real hell, nothing is happening, the stage are missing, the flags are missing, people are missing, everything is missing. Nothing was happening in the hellish planet. So the man asked Yamaraj, when I came that time, all the things were happening in the hellish planet, but nothing is happening. What happened? Yamaraj said, the time when we came to hellish planet, there was an election time. The election time that, the leaders, they make everybody happy. I will give you free income tax. I will give you free food and rice. Don't worry about anything. All kinds of promises. When the election over, everything become hell again. This is the position of the material world. So Prahlad says, my dear father, you're already drawn in the dark well of this material temporary world. What is that? So Prahlad was brought back again. The father asked him, now tell me what you've learned the best. He says, Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atma Nivedanam. My dear Lord, becoming a devotee of a Vishnu, that is the best thing could happen in your life. And father asked him, where do you learn all those things? In the chapter, Canto 7, text 5, text 30, you will see. Prahlad says, Matirna Krishna Parata Soto Amido Bipadyeta Griya Vartana Madanda Gopir Visatam Tamisram Puna Puna Charvita Charvananam. My dear father, who thinks that sense gratification, enjoyment of the world is the ultimate goal of life? Just the chewing the sweet again and again. They think this is the ultimate goal of life. They can never understand Krishna consciousness either by their personal endeavor or by the advice of others or by the both of that. If you already decided in your mind that this is the way I wanted to live, I don't care about the Hare Krishna. I don't worry about them. You already decided, I wanted to live like a German dog, a German cat. What can be done? Very uncivilized. The moment you do not know that you are spirit soul. Krishna told Arjuna, Kutasva kasmalamidam visame samupasitam anarimju samaskaryam akirti karam Arjuna. In the chapter 2, text 2 of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, that my dear Arjuna, how you have become uncivilized in the world. Uncivilized means you don't even know that you are not this material dull matter. You are not the body, you are the spiritual living entity. When you don't understand this thing, you are very uncivilized. Uncivilized means what? You are like an animal in the world. And people have decided. And Prahlad Maharaj says, my dear father, those have already decided that, no, I wanted to be like this. Then, even they try by themselves, even by the help of other person, or by both, they said, they cannot cannot understand about Krishna consciousness. Very important that, you have to have a bit of open mind so that you can take in a fresh information into. Human life is meant to inquire. Adato Brahma Jigyasa. Asato ma sadgama tamasima jojirgama mrityumam amritam gamam. Don't stay in darkness, come to the light. Don't stay in the temporary world, come to the eternity. Don't born, die. Go back to the spiritual world. A human life is meant for the ultimate purpose. But unfortunately, the maximum majority of the people in the world, they have decided, no, we wanted to live like animal. There is a problem. You don't even know your real existence in the world. You are thinking, what is this body is all about? The body is only three things. When you die, they bury the body, you become a soil, you become a earth. They burn the body, you become ashes. They throw the body somewhere in the river and the street. When the birds eat you, you become stool. The material body, either it's a stool, or either it's the ashes, or it's either is the earth. So what is all about this material body? Krishna told Arjuna, Apareya mitastvanyam prakartim viddhime param jiva bhuta mahabhavo yayedam daryate jagat. My dear Arjuna, there are superior living entities living within this material body. Etar yonini sarvesu. That, I am the creator of both of material and spiritual of the world. Somewhere or other, people are decided in their mind, so things become very difficult. There was a man, he was doing a big business one time. He was in the clothing business, and he was doing very well. At one point, somewhere or other, he lost all his business. So every time he sees, and then with the children, always he talks about his failure of his clothing business. Oh, my dear children, one time I was doing very nicely with my business. I was becoming very successful, but finally I lost everything. So every time when he sits on the table with the children, always he talks about his failure of his business. So the children became very upset, because now the children are educated. They are doing quite well in their life, but they see the father is always very unhappy about his failure of his business. They don't know what to do. At that moment, somebody said there's one Swamiji coming to the next village, and he's going to talk about Ramayanam for 48 days. I said, better you send your father go and hear the Ramayanam, then he may change. So the children took the father, left it in another village for 48 days to hear the Ramayanam. And they told the Swamiji, my father has got this problem. He has lost all his business, and he is always worrying about what he has lost. So please, help. And he can revive, can become happy in his life. So the father was left in another village to hear Ramayanam for 48 days. After 48 days of talking Ramayanam, and the children came to take the father back, and they want to go and say thanks to the Swamiji. So they took the father and went to the Swamiji. So then the Swamiji asked the man, so are you happy now? No more worries? Are you happy? The man said, no, Swamiji, your Ramayanam is the best in the world. And so much of wonderful information is coming from you, Swamiji. About Ravana, about Vibhishana, about Sugriva, about Hanuman, about Ram. So much I've learned today. And he said to the Swamiji, but Swamiji, why you did not come 50 years ago? That time I was in business and I've lost everything. And repeated the same, And the children were still again, upset, Swamiji, what to do? Swamiji said, don't worry, the next village I'm going to speak Mahabharatam for 48 days. You bring your father. And the next village you are talking Mahabharatam, then they left the father there for 48 days. And 48 days, he listened. The children came back to take back the father. And, then they went to thank, the Swamiji. And Swamiji says, so now you are okay? After Mahabharatam, hearing 48 days, you are okay? My dear Swamiji, that was the best lecture I've heard so far. I can see that Duryodhana is sitting inside me. I can see the Saguni sitting inside me. I can see Yudhishthira. I can see Bhima. I can see the divine and demoniac are sitting inside me. I got the valuable advice from you, Swamiji. But Swamiji, why you did not come 50 years ago? I lost everything in my business because I do not know who's Duryodhana. I do not know who's Yudhishthira at that time. And the children, said, Swamiji, what to do? My father again, after 48 days, Ramayanam never changed. 48 days of, Mahabharatam, he never changed. What to do? Swamiji said, don't worry, let us take your father. So the Swamiji took him to the graveyard. He said, look at this in the graveyard. How many bodies they have been burning every day is a cremation. One by one body, after one body, keep, they are, cremating the body there. Swamiji said, look at this. You're talking about your loss of, business, clothing business. Look at this. People have lost their life. Can you look at that? Look at that. Can you understand what his life is all about? He says, Swamiji, today you have, enlightened me. Why you didn't come 50 years ago? I say, why? Because I was in the wrong business, Swamiji. I would have started the wood business. At least, I could be very successful here. But they're using the wood, to burn the body all the time. And Swamiji told the children, no father, no God can help your father. Take him back. Prahlad Maharaj said, Matirna Krishna Parato Sotoa, Father, who can help you? Already decided inside yourself that materialistic way of life is the best. In the canto 7.5, 31, Prahlad Maharaj said, Natha vido swatam gadihim vishnum durasaya he bari arthamanina handa yathandir upanyamanam tepisam tantrim murdam nibadha. My dear Father, it is just like one blind is leading another blind in the world. People do not know the ultimate goal of life is to surrender to Vishnu. They are already accepting the materialistic way of life as a goal without knowing the goal of his Lord Vishnu. And he is blind already. And he is, leading another blind in his life. What will happen? And one very good advice Prahlad Maharaj gave his father. That's in Canto 7, Chapter 5, text 32. Naisam mati stavat urukramangarim spasati anartha pakamo yat artha Maisam rajan yat pada rajan niskinchinanam yat nivirthi yavat. He said, my dear father, only option you have got in your life is that go and surrender to the pure devotees of the Lord. The devotees, the pure devotees of the Lord, they do not have any desires in their life. There is no anartha. There is no any material accumulation in their life. They are free from all kinds of, anarthas. They are niskinchinanam. They don't have any desire in the material world. You go and fall at their feet. Take the dust from their lotus feet and smear it all over your body. That's the only option you have got in your life. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Jagannath Puri. He told Kalidas. Kalidas was opening his palm and taking the water from the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and drinking. Mahaprabhu stopped him and told him, Bhaktapada Duliyada Bhaktapada Jana Bhakta Bhukta Havasesa Mahatina Bhala. My dear Kalidas, if a person can do three things in their life, they can take the dust from the feet of the devotee, if they can drink the water, wash the feet of the devotee, if they can take the prasadam left by the devotee, by the three action, they will, the door for the Vaikuntha abode of the Lord is opened all the time. There was a great alvar by the name of Tirumanga in South India. The Lord's bow, appeared as an alvar. And this alvar, he was a tax collector. And tax collector means, he's very stout and very strong. They keep like a mafia, to go around and collect the tax. And he was like a mafia, very rude with everything. One day he was going around, he came to one house, double-story house, to collect the tax. And upstairs, on the balcony, he saw there was one beautiful young girl standing by the name of Kumadavalli. Then he got attracted to the girl, and he told the father, because he's already, like a mafia, told, I want to marry your daughter. He never asked, can I marry your daughter? No, I want to marry your daughter. And the father knows, he's a tax collector, he's like a mafia. I cannot fight with this guy. And the father said, I have no problem about this thing, but you better go and speak to the girl. So he went to the girl, Kumadavalli. He told her that I'm attracted to you and I wanted to marry you. And she knows this guy is a mafia. How to marry a mafia, the gangster? Life is going to be more miserable unless he become a Vaishnava. She told him, I have no problem to marry you, but only with two conditions I will marry you. One, you must become a true Vaishnava. Second, for 1 year, you must wash the feet of a Vaishnava, drink the water, and feed them nice food, and then you eat the remnants. If you can follow these two conditions for 1 year, I'll marry you. But she knows, unless you become a Vaishnava. Why Vaishnava? Vaishnava has got a wonderful qualities here. Mahaprabhu explained to Sanatana Goswami the 26 quality, Kripalu, Akirta Droha, Satya Sara, Nirosa, Vadanyaya, Mrudu Suchi, Akinchana, Sarvopakara, Kasanta, Krishna Kucharana, Akama, Aniya, Sera, Vijita Sadguna, Mitabuk, Apramat, Manadi, Amani, Gambira, Karuna, Maitra, Daksha, Mauni. The Vaishnava has got all these wonderful qualities. And she knows that if you become a Vaishnava, you will take care of me very nicely. Prabhupada was very disappointed when devotee getting married and getting divorced and divorced. Prabhupada, he really disgusted about hearing this thing. Because you are devotee, there should not be any argument, there should not be any fight, there should not be any personal interest. Your only interest is Krishna, and you get married coming together only for the interest of serving Krishna, how to help each other. And that was the question of becoming, you wanted to get divorced. And one time Prabhupada, devotee came and said, Prabhupada, what to do with our boys and girls? Prabhupada said, all the boys should remain brahmachari, and all the girls should get married. And they said, how to do this thing? Prabhupada, that is your management. How you do that is your intelligence. So you cannot go in that manner. In our religion, when we take a vow, just like Ram, Lord Ram, he took a vow. He had the opportunity. All the girls of Ayodhya came to see him one day, because all the workers, the staff in the house palace, they've gone to, somewhere they're doing Ram Bhajan, they've gone there. So he was alone, Sita Devi was upstairs, he was in the garden out there, night time lying down there, and all the girls, they packed up, put a new dress. They came to know Ram is alone. So he came. They came and then they offered themselves to Ram that, Ram, we've been waiting for this moment for all the time where you can be by yourself, we can come and approach you. Please let us at least live one day with you. Ram says, no, I've taken a vow. Only one woman in my life. And they cried. Ram said, don't worry, this life, you're asking for one moment, but next I'll become a Krishna. And one shot I marry every one of you, we can live for, eternally. And they've selected the thing. So here, we have to understand, in our culture, we don't do any of these things because sense gratification doesn't make up the center of our life. We are not like a Muslim, Recently I saw on YouTube in Pakistan, the fellow got 100 children, a Muslim guy. So the reporter asking how you are able to have 100 children. He said we can legally marry 4 and illegally we can keep as many as we want. So altogether he said I got 100 children. So they go and interview the eldest son. What do you want to be when you become big? He said I want to be like my father, 100 kids like pigs and dogs. They cannot. Only one marriage. Only you are allowed to marry, allowed to divorce when your married life is alleged that it's not giving any room to practice Krishna consciousness. The whole marriage is to come together to serve Krishna nicely. But the marriage life become, obstacles for serving Krishna, then you can go away. That is called the emergency dharma. In the normal dharma, normal teaching, a normal educated human being, they cannot get divorced. A person who is in the emergency don't know what to do. Just like, your wife always waiting when to put the poison and to kill him. Or your man is always waiting when she can be in the deep sleep, I can shoot her. If each other wanted to kill, then you can go for divorce. Other than that, we don't do the thing. So here, why we started this story? Where we stopped? Okay, don't worry. Yeah, talking about Prahlad Maharaj. So here, Prahlad Maharaj told his father, only option you have got, go and surrender to the lotus feet of the devotee. Now we come to the Tirumangai, a tax collector. So he wants to marry the girl. She said, no problem, you are mafia. You are very dangerous unless you become a Vaishnava. Two condition. You must become a true Vaishnava and 1 year you must serve the Vaishnavas. Wash their feet and give them food and take the balanced food. So he was very excited, to become a Vaishnava. He thought that very easy. He ran to the Sri Rangam, the Lord's temple, and he told the priest, you immediately make me a Vaishnava. Immediately make me a Vaishnava. And the priest got frightened. He said, no, immediately you cannot become a Vaishnava. There's a cultivation of knowledge, the cultivation of bhakti, there's a cultivation of detachment. Bhakti, jnanam, vairagya must go together. So it takes some time. He said, no, I don't care. Immediately make me a Vaishnava. So he thought what to do. So he put a tilak for him, put a kandimala for him, give him a chanting bag, or your Vaishnava, go. So he came to Kumudavali and he said, I have already become a Vaishnava. She said, this is not the way to become a Vaishnava. You cannot become a Vaishnava unless you serve another Vaishnava. Naham Vipro Nacha Narapati Napi Vaishnava. Like Mahaprabhu said, I am not a Brahmana, Satriya, Vaishya, Sudra, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanapurusa, Sannyas. I am the servant of the gopis who serve Lord Krishna. So she said, unless you serve the Vaishnavas, otherwise, externally, with some Vaishnava symbol, you are not a Vaishnava. You better go, get the Vaishnavas, you get them seated, wash their feet, and 1 year you feed them prasadam. For how many people? For 1,000 Vaishnavas you must serve for 1 year. So he was going around looking for Vaishnavas, and he see the Vaishnava, he said, brother, come. Hey, Prabhu, come. Why? No, I wanted to wash your feet. And no Vaishnava wants to give their feet to wash. You think, they're so proud that they wanted to show their feet, and then they say, come wash, come wash, come wash. The Vaishnavas always want to remain very humble, and they don't want to be, taking service from the others. And though no Vaishnava wants to, wash their feet. And he don't know what to do. And he goes back to Kumudavali. She said, I try to follow your instruction, your order, but no Vaishnava wants to give their feet to wash. What I should do? She said, by hook or crook, by force or anything, you must serve the Vaishnavas. By hook or crook, you do it. So he came back this time. He got all Vaishnava. He catch them. He tied them with the rope. He kept them sit 1,000 Vaishnava. He tied them with the rope and then let them sit. And then they, oh, show me your feet. Pull the feet, you wash the feet, drink the water. She said, you also must bring some water for me. Then I believe. Then he cook, for 1,000 Vaishnava, feed them. And slowly all the money is using for cooking from the tax collection. Then he was running out of money. Then he thought, better I do something else. Go back to Kumudavali. She told, I am already, no money to serve Vaishnava. She said, by hook or crook, you do it. And he came back, he go and steal. He rob people and do. And one time, Lakshmi Narayan, even Narasimha, he gave him, darshan. So Lakshmi Narayan, they came as a newly wedded couple. They were coming, newly wedded couple, with a lot of, jewelries and ornaments, everything. The places where he robbed people, and he saw that the newly wedded couple are coming. He don't know that it's Lakshmi Narayan are disguising and coming as a newly wedded couple. Then when they come, he stopped them. He said, now you give all your ornaments, jewelry and everything. By force, he took away the jewelries and necklaces to everything from Lakshmi and Narayan. He put it in a bag. And then there was one ring, left on the toe of the Lord. He said, open. The Lord said, I cannot open. You want to do it. He was trying to bite and take it out. Even that, he got the chance to kiss the lotus feet of the Lord. And after that, he was trying to carry the bag. And the bag, he was not able to carry the bag. All the jewels are on you, you're not able to carry. Then you go to Lord Vishnu, he said, oh, I know that you have chanted some mantra, that's why I'm not able to take the bag. You please tell me what is the mantra. Please tell me what is the mantra. He was so eager, he wants to take the money and go and serve the Vaishnavas. And then Lord goes to near his ear, he said, Om Narayanaya Namaha. Om Narayanaya Namaha. Beautifully he writes, Kulam tarum selvam tandidum adiyar padum duyar ayunum ellam nilam tan visumbum nil visumum arulam arulod. He says that the holy name will bring all the glories in your life. Beautifully he recites again, this, when he become enlightened. He says that the holy name will do more better, more benefit to the devotees who are chanting more than what their parents can do to them. He said the parents temporarily will stay with their children. They will do the good for the children, but only temporarily they will be there. One day they will die and go already, but the holy name will be with them all the time. So holy name will do something better than their own parents. So when the Lord uttered the Narayan name in his ear, and he was enlightened. And in the enlightenment, he first, sloka he uttered, Vadinen, Vadi Varundinen, Padumthuyar Idumbayal Pirande. He says, my dear Lord, I've been, suffering, born in the material world. And simply I was becoming friends with anybody and everybody by listening to them. I'm following, I'm running after young women and so-called sense enjoyment. In this world, by your mercy, I understood the whole material creation is a miserable place. And today I've come to you, please kindly accept me at your lotus feet. So in this way, by the mercy of the Vaishnavas, our life can transform very nicely, understanding that, material life is very temporary in this world, very miserable in the world. And Prahlad Maharaj, when he was talking to the Lord, Prahlad Maharaj said, Yan maitunadi giriya medi sukhame tucham kanduya nena karayoriva dukha dukkam. Prahlad Maharaj says, my dear Lord, the materialistic way of life is the ultimate miseries of the living being. Prahlad Maharaj says, just like when somebody got a itchy, the end is itchy, and then they rub, to make it better, make it, when there's an itch, in the hand, they rub and rub. And he says, when you are rubbing, you feel very good, and you keep rubbing and rubbing and rubbing, it's become a bit hot, and keep rubbing and rubbing, then the skin spill over. And what was in the beginning, pleasure in the beginning, later has become burning sensation. It's a materialistic way of life is like that. In the beginning, everything, very pleasurable. When you go closer and closer, when you are coming, invalid, becoming old, you'll understand you have no friends in the world. None of your so-called, family members and friends are going to come and tell you, oh, I can go, on behalf of you, you can still stay in Germany. I'll go on behalf of you. Nobody going to volunteer themselves for any kinds of suffering. When you are good, doing well in the material world, you got a lot of friends. When you become a useless beggar, you have no friends in the world. True or not? So like that, by the mercy of the Lord, by the mercy of Prabhupada and Vaishnavas, we have got this, good opportunity. There is no requirement for us to give up anything. Adding Krishna in your life, understanding, is the only a true friend is going to come with you. Pitaham asya jagato mata data pitamaham. In the chapter 9:17, Krishna says, I'm your father, I'm the maintainer, I'm the, everything in the world. Gatir bhatu prabhu saksir. Nidanam sahurit sutam. Gatir means, Arjun, I am the goal of human life. Bhartu, I am the maintainer of the living being. Prabhu, I am the master of the living being. Saksi, I am the witness of all the activities of the living being. Nivasam, I am the resting place of the living being. I am the Suharit, real friend of the living being. So Krishna is the resting place. Everybody, in the European world, in the Western world, you go to the graveyard, you'll see, rest in peace. Mr. John, born and died, resting in peace. Prabhupada said, how this guy can be resting in peace? Throughout whole life, he was not in peace. Throughout whole life, he's running around like monkey, jumping here and there. And suddenly, how he can become peaceful? He cannot become peaceful. So, for the devotees, beautifully Prabhupada explained, for the karmi, when they die, Krishna gives them peace. For the devotees, while they are living, Krishna gives them peace. There is two different things. When Prabhupada was told, by devotee, Prabhupada, why devotees are suffering? Prabhupada said devotee suffering is not same as the karmi suffering. He says just like the cat carries the kitten in the mouth. The kitten feels very comfortable. The same cat carries the mouse in the mouth. The mouse feels very uncomfortable. They both look like in the same mouth. Similarly, we can be in the same material world with same all other people, but our situation is totally different. So people have to understand, and most of you, all of you, you come to Hare Krishna, from a different background. Before coming to Hare Krishna, we had so many other issues in life. You become a devotee, you don't have an issue about, taking a right foot, everything is going on very nicely. But there is a little bit of problem here and there, because we wanted to preach to the people. Why we are living in Germany? Because we want to preach to the people. The best place to practice Hare Krishna is in Vrindavan, in Mayapur. There nothing is there. Everybody Radhe, 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 that's it. If you sit in the rickshaw, they say Radhe, Radhe Sham. Then you go to anywhere, everything is Krishna in Vrindavan. So it's a better place to be there. But why we are in Germany? Because we are, taking a little bit of extra challenges, try to bring these people closer to Krishna. That is for that reason. So we open a temple, we open an organization. So when you got organization, big establishment, always there is going to be a lot of different kinds of people coming and going. So a lot of tests and tribulation, challenges will be there. A lot of, problem will be there. Why? Because we wanted to preach to the people. But if you don't want to preach to the people, nothing here, you better go and stay in Vrindavan, because that's the best place to chant Hare Krishna. In fact, Vrindavan is the best place to die, so better go and die in Vrindavan. Isn't it? So that is the thing. So we take a little bit of extra work, extra difficulty, so because, that is the nature of the Vaishnava, paradukha dukhi, and not happy to see others are unhappy in the world. So thank you so much for being here this morning. Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. Well, you read Bhagavad Gita chapter 5, text 7, Yoga Yukta Visuddhatma Vichitatma Jitendriya Sarva Bhutatma Bhutan. Jitendriya means a devotee who have controlled, his mind and senses. And, the moment, he become a pure devotee, he begins to love everybody and everybody else. Prabhupada give an example, just like a man and woman, they get married. Before they are marrying, they do not know each other. In India, normally they got arranged marriages. Before marrying the girl, he doesn't know anything about the girl, whether she has got who's a friend, who's an enemy. The moment he marries the girl, whoever the girl's enemy becomes his enemy, whoever the girl's friend becomes his friend. The girl may have some enemies, You marry the girl, and the girl will tell you, don't look at the girl, don't talk to the girl, she's not a good girl. But before that, he doesn't know about this girl anything. But just marrying to the girl, whoever the girl's friend becomes his friend, whoever the girl's enemy becomes his enemy. The central point is the girl. He says, similarly, now when you put Krishna in the center, Bhuktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarvalokam Maheswaram Suridam Sarva Bhutanam Gatmam Mam Santi Richat in the chapter 5, 29. Krishna become, you become peaceful when you understand Krishna is the, supreme enjoyer. He is the supreme proprietor, he is the well-wisher of all living beings. So when you put Krishna in the center, and Krishna is no enemy, all are friends. The moment you love Krishna, and all is Krishna subordinate, they become, your friends and your relatives. Just like, when you put somebody as a center, whoever is connected with, is connected to you also. So like that Prabhupada says, when you love Krishna, and Krishna loves everybody in the world, the well-wisher of every living being, so automatically you also become well-wisher of every living being. And in the 64 qualities, one of that, everyone worship Krishna. Some worship directly on Krishna, some worship indirectly, they worship the energy of Krishna, Maya and everything else. Somewhere or other, everybody, become a servant to Krishna, or is separated energy, that's all. You got some time, you read the chapter 5 is all about love, And Prabhupada said, love binds everyone in the world. So without love, we will have a frustration of wherever we are sitting. People having a good job, people having a good income, but people are frustrated about their job. True or not? Somebody earning $2,000 and somebody earning, $20,000, and $20,000 you come, I don't like to work, this and that, $2,000 is still sustaining in this job. Why? Because the moment you don't have love in your heart, the marriage becomes frustration, your family life becomes frustration, your job becomes frustration, your very life in the world becomes frustration if you don't have a love in your heart. So Krishna consciousness is to fulfill, that, blank, which is missing in your life. That is love, So anything else? Yeah, Prabhuji. Why you wanted to serve Krishna?
And I asked, okay, why I have to serve Krishna? Because he will be satisfied.
Yeah, okay.
Why I want Krishna to be satisfied? Because when he is satisfied, then I am satisfied.
Yeah.
It always comes to me.
Yeah.
No,
that is a real thing of your life. In the chapter 15, text 7, Krishna says, Mama Vamsa Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatanai. That, you're eternally, fragmental part and parcel of Krishna. Just like the hand, is meant to serve the body. Just like your leg is meant to serve the body. If the hand boycott, I don't want to, do anything, And if your mouth, boycott, the stomach is enjoying all the time, food is going to the stomach, why you should, bite the food? If your mouth, boycott, your hand boycott, your leg boycott, how are you going to maintain your body? Because they are fragmentally part and parcel of the body in the similar way that we are fragmental part and parcel of Krishna. And Krishna says everyone is duty bound to serve somebody in their life. If you are not serving anybody else, you are going to serve your own mind, body and senses. That's it. But despite of so many other services in the world, you serve the family, you serve the friends, you serve the country and everything, even you serve your dog. Despite all these services, still you find there's a vacant, that's frustration in your life because your service is misdirected, given into the wrong place. Instead of putting your food in your mouth, you try to put the food into your ear. How are you going to be happy? So it's a natural that, the limbs of the body is meant to serve the body. The similar way that you are meant to serve Krishna because you are, limbs of Krishna's body. Prabhupada said just like the finger, you cut off the finger, it's become useless. As long as the finger is connected with the body, it has got use, and then you maintain the finger. The moment the finger gone away, you're no longer interested. Similar way that it is your born nature that it's your prime duty. Being a part and parcel of Krishna, you are meant to serve Krishna if you wanted to be peaceful and happy. But if you wanted to enjoy away from Krishna, like you're putting the rice into the ear, so it's not going to be very beneficial to you.
Some kind of egoism. Okay, I understand that material world there is no happiness.
Yeah.
And I'll serve Krishna so I can be happy.
Yeah.
Isn't it also not good?
Definitely. Start from somewhere. Prabhupada was talking to the reporter, So Prabhupada was telling, if you chant Hare Krishna, you go back to Vaikuntha. The reporter was telling to Prabhupada, Swamiji, okay, very nice to hear about all this thing, going to Vaikuntha. What happened? You die today. And you go up there, there's no Vaikuntha. Only is your imagination. What you do? Are you still will be Hare Krishna? Prabhupada says, still I will be chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. The reporter say, why? He said, because while I'm living here, I'm already very happy with Hare Krishna. I'm already living in the Vaikuntha, so there is no requirement for me to go and look for another Vaikuntha. So because I'm already living in Vaikuntha by in the association of the devotees and chanting, he says, whether there's Vaikuntha up there or not, doesn't matter, but I will keep chanting Hare Krishna. I will keep, taking prasad and serving the Vaishnavas. Importantly, are you happy coming to Hare Krishna? So if you're not very happy, then you have to look into yourself why you are not, very happy. Somewhere, you're not really connecting the system properly. You must be connected properly. First is a Shraddha. For some faith you have come, There are 9 connections: Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivrti, Nistha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, Prema. The first thing is that, with some faith you have come here. Now you have to enhance the faith, make the faith very strong. That, there's an association of the devotees. So now you have to see whether are you taking properly association of the devotees. Whether are you, hanging around with the Kanishta devotee. Are you hanging around some more advanced devotee? So number 2 is the association of the devotee. Number 3, you have to go into the, taking spiritual master, initiation, and, practice the Bhakti Yoga very nicely. Then number 4, Anartha Nivrti. There will be, elimination of, all kinds of unwanted, elements in your heart will be cleared from you. And number 5, there will be Nistha. Now you become very steady in your life. And there will be number 6, there will be Ruchi. There will be a taste, of chanting and, serving Krishna. And number 7, there could be Asakti, a great attachment towards Krishna. Nobody can take that attachment away from you. Whatever trouble comes, you still be a devotee. And number 8, Bhava. That will be a beginning of the, love of Krishna. And number 9 will become Prema, the total blossoms of, Premam. The happiness, totally you will get it when you follow the process, little by little. Prabhupada said within one day you become a pure devotee. Even many lifetimes you may not become a pure devotee. It all depends whether you have, follow the procedure properly. So you have to understand, before coming to Hare Krishna, you've been living only for yourself. You've been always thinking about yourself. Always you are, worried and selfishly you've been living in the world. But today you become a devotee, you are not, selfish about, you're thinking about yourself. You're thinking about other people around the world. You don't want to, harm anybody here. There are a lot of changes in your life after becoming a devotee, true or not? So that's good. So maybe you may not have come to that level, doesn't matter, Slowly the process will take you to that level, provided you stay in the system. Don't take your heart from here, And you need, Prabhupada says, a devotee, all they need is a tolerance. The quality of a devotee, been mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 20, Text 21. Titikshava, Karunika, Surira, Sarvadehina, Ajata, Santrava, Santa, Sadhuva, Sadhuva. If somebody said they are devotee, they must have tolerance, they must have, kindness, and they must be friendly to every living being, and they should not argue and fight with anybody around, and, they should follow the injunction of the Shastra, and they must be peaceful all the time. So slowly, you will be taken to the level of, spiritual happiness in your life. You need to have some tolerance. There are devotees, in Vrindavan, Mayapur, many places, they are, have you got, proper disciple here? He's been, doing it for more than us. Then in more years than us, So, he's very happy. Old man is singing and dancing here. You see how many old men are singing and dancing? All the old men in Germany and Switzerland, they wanted to get married again. You go to Australia, there's a special newspaper in Australia and New Zealand, The newspaper is only for to find a girlfriend and boyfriend, but all those who are above, 60, 70 years old, that newspaper is only meant for them. So the old men, they advertise in the newspaper, they're 70 years and above, they advertise, the body is rusty, but engine still running. Running means they are still valid to get married again. So somewhere or other, the whole newspaper about, getting a boyfriend, girlfriend at the age of 70 and plus. So yeah, we got one Prabhu like a young man singing and dancing, going through some austerity. You'll be very happy in your life. All you need is that, be patient and, follow the process nicely. Be good with the devotees, and try to make yourself happy. Nobody can make you happy unless you make yourself happy. Happiness is not sold outside, You got a lot of money, you cannot go to the, your supermarket. You cannot go to the Cools and, buy, some peace and happiness for 20 pounds, 20 euro. Nowhere it is sold. So only it's inside you. Yontar Sukantar Arama Tadanta Jori. Chapter 5, text 24, Krishna says Yontar is inside you. So you have to revive the thing. That needs a little bit of tolerance because we have done a lot of nonsense things, lived in a different way outside world, and so much of contamination is there. So for some people it takes a long time. For some people in a very short time they can do it, and you look very happy. Your face looks extraordinary, radiance. You look at all the devotees' faces, very, very, yeah. You look very special. Even you go to see your parents, they will tell you, you look different. True or not? Because the austerity going through, today you come from Mangalarati, how many millions of, punya, the merits you get today. So all the demigods are blessing you. The Shastra says, 3:30 in the morning, Lord Shiva will go to all the houses, 3:30 in the morning, Lord Shiva goes, and then he sees that who's waking up for, to go for Mangalarati, and he gives them special blessing. So you got the blessing of Lord Shiva, don't worry, he's Nimna Ghanam, Nimna Ghanam Yada Ganga, Devanam Achyudam Yada, Vaishnavanam Yada Sambhu Purananam. Among the Vaishnavas, he is the topmost. So early morning, topmost Vaishnava has given you the blessing. Unless you are sleeping till, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 12 o'clock, midday, then very difficult to explain to you. So you're very good, you are doing very well, you have, you are not smoking here. Are you smoking over here? Why you worry? You are not smoking, no drinking, you know how to take care of your health, But because still you are in the material world, which, by nature is a miserable place, when you totally become Krishna conscious, you will be taken to the spiritual world, no more material world. Till that point, we will be affected, by little bit here and there. But don't worry. When you get the higher taste, automatically lower taste will go away from you. And Prabhupada says, chant and be happy, that's it, Hare Krishna. No other solution here, chant, be happy. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaura Pramanande. Hare Krishna.